Hello folks, welcome. Zorin OS 17.2. This is the core version, and I am going to be talking about troubleshooting custom themes or third-party themes today. That is a new feature of 17.2 core. In here, you will have a new selection in your Zorin appearance: how to install third-party themes. So the developers here got this about 98% correct. Well, that leaves 2% for question mark. It does. If you have noticed, I'm using, custom themes, whether it's theme or icon set or cursor. The mouse cursor is not empty butterfly red, as you can see. It's a black and white one. So there's a problem here. I followed this directions, and more importantly, this is what my result is. So I will discuss stuff like that and how to fix this, and more importantly, generally talk about installing third-party themes. And then I'm going to talk about troubleshooting. Troubleshooting, whether it's this thing here, which is actually very simple, and more importantly, if you're missing icons and you can't open up Zorin Appearance, what do you normally do? Well, people usually reinstall. That's not a good thing to do, but I'm going to show you some different options so you can eliminate the bad theme, whichever theme that was. Most of the time, you're not going to see it with cursors. You will see it with icon sets and general themes and shell themes. So, filming in 1080. Adjust your YouTube player accordingly if necessary. All right, so when I get into talking about cursors, I'm also going to talk about maybe the reference to the size of the mouse pointer or cursor to your screen resolution, because some of these mouse cursors are not well scalable, not resizable. Again, filming in 1080, welcome folks. Subscription key is in the corner, 450 videos and growing. This is not everybody's cup of tea, but I think every Zorin user needs to understand some things about themes in general. And then I'm going to talk about, did you know you can log into Zorin two different ways? Well, a lot of people don't know that, because when they click on their username, there's a tiny little gearbox that shows up in the right-hand corner that is so small that most people miss it. You can actually click that and select from the Wayland environment into X11. Now, why would you want to switch to X11 to begin with? I'll give you one example. I'm using Simple Screen Recorder. It doesn't work in Wayland. That's just one example. So I'm logged into the X11 environment. So let me open up settings for you one more time and actually point this out to you. So down here it says, let me make this larger for you. Sorry. So it says X11. There's a lot of applications that people want to use in X11 versus Wayland. Wayland is still evolving in my book. It also has glitches. And if you follow the directions for installing mouse cursors, I'm going to show you or discuss one of the glitches, and you can certainly try this out on your own. All right, but I will point out some things. So if that says X11, that's how you logged into the X11 environment windowing system, and the default is Wayland. It'll say Wayland right across here. Again, if you install Simple Screen Recorder in Wayland, you probably will not get it to work. All right, so how do I fix this little problem? Well, let's go through the new procedure, how to install third-party themes, and why this is not showing up. All right, this mouse cursor is actually this one. And as you can see, when I'm switching from the blue to the red, it doesn't even matter. However, if I do handhelds, you can see this tiny little red thing. And then red glass and white glass. Now, why are these showing up? Because they're installed in USR share icons. That's where most developers install their default mouse pointers or cursors. All right, I'm going to go back to empty butterfly blue. It's not showing up, but let's open this up. If you have never done this kind of stuff, pay real close attention. I do recommend subscription and watching the video in its entirety when you are doing stuff like this. Because I'm also going to talk about recovery in case something goes wrong. You know, there is a lot of people will download icon sets and they'll all of a sudden lose all their icons here or in the menus. But in either case, the document shows you how to install third-party themes, starting with step 1, and they're using pling.com. Pling.com. Let me show you what an icon set looks like on pling.com. There are 1726 of these. Not everyone is going to work for you. Have you been on my YouTube site? Are you a subscriber? If you're a subscriber of my old channel too, you may find some of this information familiar. 450 videos, but more importantly, my mission statement is over here. And the About section, in other words, and then there are some links. So GNOME-Look and XFCE-Look also share their database with Pling. Let me show you an example of that. You see this full icon themes, it says 1726 right here. If I click over to Pling, 1726. I think you get the idea now. All right, so you can download these themes for icon sets. Now the word themes is an ambiguous word, but that's what they're using for this document. Okay, let's go back in here. So desktop themes, icon themes, or cursor themes. Another name for that is mouse pointers. All right, and the one that I have currently is not showing up. This one here is empty butterfly blue, and the red also is not showing up. I followed this to a T. So I went ahead and extracted the, let's just do one together. Mouse cursor. All right, I'm going to go to the latest because I know where that cursor is at. I think it's on page 2 or 3. I had a user, I think it was last year or the year before, asked me about this one. It's been a while, but more importantly, they were having problems on a Plasma desktop installing that. And Plasma uses automated installers. And more importantly, this one was not showing up, and you'll see why in a second. All right, so what do I have here for flavors? Let me first take a look. I apologize, folks. I'm just trying to see what I have installed. I have red and blue, so I'll pick a different color. So let's try magenta. All right, so all of these things will start counting down from 5 to 0. And what this is all about is this person here is sponsoring the developer with a mini tip. And I'm glad to see that someone is paying some of the folks for doing some this wonderful work out there. A lot of folks in the Linux community do pro bono work. What that means is free, myself included. Let's download that thing, and it's going to be magenta. So per instructions, let me close this screen and follow this along. So it should be sitting in my downloads folder. So let's go find it. And I'm going to turn off my hidden there. And there it is. Would you like me to switch to a standard theme? I can in 2 seconds, just like this. And I'll talk about that later also. This is going to be one of your panic buttons. All right, right click, extract here. That's what the instructions state. So it's extracted. It was a zip file. You'll sometimes find these themes compressed in different formats. Your Zorin file manager should be able to uncompress all these formats. So I extracted that here. So instruction number 3 is done. It didn't even give you a screenshot, which is nice. Now I have not seen this printed anywhere. I will give Zorin some kudos for that, because I have not seen this printed for a developer to show you how to install a mouse cursor or any other theme for that matter. That's looking for the index theme. Now I've talked about that on several of my videos. So what we're looking for is an index theme inside this main folder. And you can see there's no index theme here. So what we have here is three things. Let's take a look at the first thing. It's a PNG. It says support creator. It's basically he's asking you to buy him a coffee and using PayPal. All right. Now he has a README file. Let's open that one up. I also have a plugin installed here for this one that allows me to scroll bigger. I've shown that on different desktops on how to install that plugin for this particular text editor. It's called gedit. It's also used on many other distributions. Anyways, empty butterfly yellow something 6. He's stating to move that into dot icons. But that's not what the instruction says here. But I want you to be aware of where the index file is. So it's here. So before I do anything, let's go back to the document. So return back to your home folder after you copy that, the one with the index theme. So let's at least do that part. Do we want to copy that? No. We want to copy this because there's no index file here. The index file is underneath this thing. So that's the folder you want to copy. You will see this occasionally when there are multiple themes. Right click, copy. So what's the next instruction? Show hidden files in your home folder. Let's go here, hamburger menu, show hidden files. I'm going to take out just 2 seconds to make mention that Control H is another tip for you to do that. Control H, pardon me, need a little bit more coffee there. So the next thing we're going to scroll down after we show hidden is to look for a folder or directory called .local. .local, period local. So anything with a dot or a period is a hidden something. So basically your folder normally looks like that, and then when you turn on hidden, they look like that. So here's .local. And you only have one option, open up share. There'll be many folders in here. So basically it's asking you to look for a themes folder and an icons folder. If they don't exist, you right click on the spot and then you create a new. So what that means is you right click and create new. All right, so you create a icons folder. It's not a hidden one, just regular name. And the other one, if you want to do both at the same time, themes. You spell them exactly the way they have them in here. All right, so now we're going to find out which one are we doing again. Well, I downloaded a cursor file, cursor theme. Another name for that is mouse pointer. It needs to go into icons, right? Local, share, icons is where cursors go. So we'll put that there. Here's icons, and I have other stuff already. Now you can see there's blue and red. I'm going to put a third one, magenta. So we've done everything so far that it's supposed to work. Okay? And then it tells you to turn that off. So basically you're going to go back in here and turn that off. So we're back to instruction number 10. And then we close the Files app. Well, let's do that. All right, and then open up your Zorin menu, navigate to themes, and select the other. So Zorin, appearance, themes, other. So that's where we're at. And then you select the appropriate third party, whichever you just installed. So if it was a theme, it would be applications. Or if it was a shell, it would be here, but we installed a cursor. We didn't do an icon set. We did a mouse pointer or mouse cursor. And you can see the magenta is in here, but it's still not lighting up. So is this absolutely incorrect? No, it's not. It is made for Wayland. It will only work in Wayland. It will not work in X11. Your mouse cursors in X11 need to be installed in, just like that developer stated, dot icons. Then they'll show up. So I'm going to show you a couple of screenshots before I convert this over. So what I did was I made 2 screenshots, and they're ugly. One is when I was logged into the Wayland environment with that one red empty mouse cursor, whatever this thing is called. Forgot what the actual name of it is. Empty butterfly red. So this one here. That's supposed to be what's displaying currently, but it's not. So I took a screenshot of this just to let you see that. Then I went over to the menu and opened it and did a second screenshot. And I want you to see what happened in Wayland. It turned into a black cursor. As soon as I moved my mouse cursor out of the field, it turned back into that same red mouse pointer. That's what you're going to probably see. You can try this yourself. So basically in the Wayland windowing environment, it will basically leave the mouse cursor that you selected until you actually point at this panel bar, and then it converts itself into this black one. Would you like to have the actual cursor work where it doesn't change from whatever you customized, and then when you hit the panel or the menu, it'll still remain there in both Wayland and X11? Well, in that case, I'm going to alter your instruction cycle. This is part of the troubleshooting thing. So basically in here, we're going to turn on our hidden. And if you have ever seen any of my videos in the last 8 years about how to install mouse cursors, there is only 2 places I install them. So if I'm wanting to put it for all users, current and future, I put it in USR share icons. But you need root permissions to do that. And that is exactly where this one is. I will actually point it out to you. You don't have to take my word for it. Sorry, wrong drive. This one. USR, share, and I'm going to scroll down to the eyes. So basically I am going to open up this, but before I do that, I'm going to right click on it and let you see who owns that folder. Okay, root owns this folder. So meaning that you need root permissions to do anything inside this folder. There is red glass and white glass. What do they look like? Red glass, white glass are mouse cursors. There is red glass. You will have this one. It comes installed already, and this is white glass. Okay, then you got your default, these two. Now you know where they're stored. So the other thing that I've been teaching over the years too is there's a lot of people that don't know how to do root mode kind of stuff. Well, let's make it easier for you. Why don't you create a folder in your home directory? Right click, create. Put a period there and put in the word icons. So period or dot icons is the folder that you need to create. So to give you an example, I'm sure you've maybe not, but a lot of you folks have heard of Linux Mint Cinnamon. Linux Mint Cinnamon, when you are clicking their settings and themes, it checks this folder. If it finds it missing in your home directory, it recreates it with nothing in it. It automatically generates this, and it's been doing that for years, and most people don't know it. But by the time most people click the themes when they're doing customization like you're doing here with Zorin, this folder has already been created. What do you put in this folder? Well, I normally put mouse cursors there. Okay, but I'm going to borrow them from .local because I'm not going to be basically storing my mouse cursors here in the .local share icons. Why is that? Because I want to use both X11 and Wayland. And if you want to do that and also not have the mouse cursor change on you when you point out to your menu and your panel bar, your taskbar, then move them. So I'm going to click that one, hold down the control key, click, click, click. These are all mouse cursors. And then I'm not going to copy them. If you copy them and paste them into dot icons, you will get duplicates. I don't think you want that. There'll be duplicates in this menu here if you do this. In the Zorin menu, under themes, under cursors, you'll see duplicates if you do this. What you want to do is cut them. You want to actually physically move them out of here, providing they were working. We don't know if they're working. I do, because I already tested these. Cut. And open up dot icons and do a paste. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 new cursors. Let's take a look at them. Because now they're in the folder where most Linux distributions install that for their locally logged in user. And more importantly, the other one is USR share icons, which is where the developers and, well, in some cases, people like myself can put mouse cursors there also. All right. So we're not dealing with icons, right? We're dealing with cursors. That's what empty butterfly blue looks like. And you can see it. It's available in my menu without changing anything. Here's magenta. Here's red. Night diamond red is non-resizable. So let me just talk about this briefly. So in your settings, if you don't know how to do this, again, there's probably going to be some of you folks that have never done this. Over here is your accessibility options. If you click the little person, you look for cursor size. If the cursor or mouse pointer is resizable, it will resize. You can see this one is not changing. I'm just going to pick the 3 points, small, middle, and large. None of these are moving. If I change this one over to the empty butterfly blue and click cursor size, it does change. Giving you the perspective just by moving it around. This is the middle of the road. And again, it's a see-through cursor. Well, partly. And that's the largest it'll go. Same thing goes with, I have this thing called Skyrim. It looks like a spear. That's the small spear. Now, why would you want to resize a cursor to begin with? I'm going to make mention of that silly thing I keep saying on my videos. What I'm filming in. Well, screen resolution has a lot to do with the size of how the mouse cursor is perceived to you. So in this format down here, when I'm in like this mode, this will be quite large. As I move up, they get smaller. So Zorin and other Linux distros provide you with the ability to change the size of the cursors. Okay, that's why. I usually use the jumbo size. But more importantly, you can now see all of these. Would you like me to name where they're stored as I go through this? USR share icons, your default mouse cursor. Empty butterfly blue. Let me close this and open up the file manager and point to this. They're stored here. That's this one. Magenta, that one. Red, this one. Handhelds, USR, user share icons, USR share icons. Night diamond red, non-resizable cursor. Red glass, USR share icons. Skyrim, here. Again, dot icons in the home folder. And white glasses and USR share icons. So your system looks in 2 different places. It actually looks in 3. It also looks in your, if you're in Wayland, it also looks in this folder. In the .local share icons, which is a folder you created. However, I put them in here, and in the X11 environment, they don't show up. So even if I were to select that, and I did when I started this video, it was selected and this was showing up, not this one. And that's because the way the Wayland environment works, it will actually reference that. However, it does have a minor glitch in my book. What I perceived, not only on this machine, but I tested this on another computer with a different graphics card even, and a different CPU and a motherboard. This blue thing that you're looking at, or the red thing that I showed a screenshot of, I might as well switch to that one. This one here, when I was in Wayland, as soon as I went over to here, it turned into a black cursor. And it remained there until I actually exited back out. And as soon as I went on my desktop, it turned red again. That was in Wayland. All right, let's talk about a couple more things now that you understand something about cursors. If you want to display them properly, personally, I would put them in dot icons just like I have been doing for many years. All right, so let's talk about that document again. Closing all this stuff down. And we are talking about third-party themes. Now, when you're dealing with applications, these are application themes and shell themes. The icon sets are going to be going also in this area here, if you download them from this Pling website. So if I were to download an icon set, which I'll do for you also, I will just pick one. I'll pick this one. And it looks like we have 11 choices. What's popular here? This one here, 612 black. How about if we use something more colorful like blue? All right, I'm going to wait until that thing finishes. And click. I'm at the 26th minute, folks. Please remember you can always subscribe to watch the whole thing. All right, now I am going to uncompress that. Okay, extract and sorry, wrong folder. All right, reversal blue, and let's take that one and just copy this one here. And we're going to go to home. I already have hidden turned on because you can see the dots. We're going to dot local. And what was the thing I just downloaded? It was an icon set. So we need to be in dot local, share, icons. You can see I have Candy, Fluent, and Nordsee. Would you like to see what they look like first? All right, let me go to the home screen for a second and turn off hidden. Control H. I'm just going to give you a sample of what's already installed and also the sample of what I just installed. Okay, so this is Candy icons in a light theme, dark theme, and then we have Fluent and Nordsee and the one I just installed called Reversal. Sorry, icon set. All right. Whenever you are installing these things, I don't care if you're in X11 or Wayland, my recommendation to you is to log out of your system and log back in to get all your icons in sync. Cursor themes, again, go into where? Cursors and mouse pointers. Let's talk about those one more time. So I put my cursors in dot icons. You can still leave yours in dot local. Just be aware that it'll only work in Wayland and it'll also be mixed. In other words, like this red one will turn black when you hit the panel bar in the menu. That was my experience on 2 computers with totally different graphics card and CPUs and motherboards. But more importantly, I put mine here. These are all mouse cursors, mouse pointers. The icon sets I did put in just like the instructions state into that area there. So these are all icon sets. Candy icons, Fluid, Nordsee, and Reversal. I showed you all of them. Now let's talk about a theme. Using the same website, we're going to go with desktop themes. All right, I'm going to pick one. Now, some people like light things and some people like dark things. And sometimes these crash on you, because I'm also going to talk about a very important thing in case those things crash. And you cannot recover by hitting Zorin appearance and it won't open, and all these icons are scrambled. Let's first of all download this thing, and it's completed. All right, let's go to the download folder. And if you want, I'll go to with the standard thing. And hopefully this will work for you every time. If not, we'll talk about a different procedure for that instead of reinstalling the system. But more importantly, let's extract this relax light tar thing. If you want, I'm going to get rid of these so it doesn't confuse you. And extract here. I'm going to open that up. And that looks okay. So what I'm going to do is right click and copy this. And my hidden is already turned on. So .local share themes this time, providing you created the folder ahead of time. And you can see what I have for themes. I've already installed several. The nice thing about doing this in your file manager is you can get rid of these things. And more importantly, if your icons are all scrambled, I'll show you how to open up your file manager so you can get rid of the offending thing if it's not working for you instead of reinstalling your system. So hang on for that. So let's see what this thing looks like. I will switch the themes now. We will go with Relax Light. Does it have a, no, it doesn't have a shell. So it's a light theme. Let's throw a candy thing at it and maybe one of these mouse pointers. So that's basically the candy icon set. You don't really see any difference. And again, I would also recommend logging out and logging in to see what the full effect looks like. Okay. So if I wanted to get rid of some of these themes, what would I do? It's very simple. You open up your file manager. You put this in where you can see hidden files. You walk over to your .local, share, and if it's a theme, you highlight the theme and get rid of it. But what happens when this thing is broke? You are missing these icons. These icons are missing. You clicked on Zorin appearance and it doesn't open. You log out of your system and you log back in and it's the same thing. That's because it's holding your offending theme. In other words, the theme that, if you want to call it, broke your desktop. All of this stuff can be resolved by removing the offending theme. Whether it's, normally it's not a mouse pointer. Normally it's an icon set or a general theme. So now I'm going to talk about, I'll put this first in default mode. And this is my first suggestion. If you can open up Zorin appearance and do this, then you're good to go. If you can't, then I'm going to show you how to do some of this kind of stuff. All right, in here, I'm going to turn off hidden. In here, I created a text document. And you can do your screenshot. You can back this up. Or you can put pause on your screen. Or you can handwrite it, whatever you want to do. This is an instruction on how to open up your terminal. If you don't have terminal listed here, can't find it. And you can use a keyboard equivalent, Control, Alt, and T. Then you're going to type in Nautilus or Nautilus browse browser. Don't forget the space. Most of the time, this is good enough. So basically, what I'm saying is you click this menu here and you don't see any icons that you can click on. And the Zorin appearance doesn't work. All right, so it's Control, Alt, and T brings up terminal. If you want, I'll make that bigger for you. What you're going to type is Nautilus. And as soon as you do that, your file manager opens. And then go ahead and throw this into hidden mode if it wasn't already. And then go to your .local and you go find the offending theme that just crashed your desktop. Normally it will be either in icons or in themes, right? So if it's an icon set, all of these work, but let's pretend this didn't. Let's pretend it crashed and basically left you with, you know, one of those bad feelings that maybe your system is host. Well, as soon as you open up your file manager here, you click that and you physically delete it. Hit the delete key on your keyboard. It puts it in the trash can. If it is not an icon set, maybe it's a theme that did this to you. Well, then pick the appropriate theme that crashed on you. Whenever you install these things, folks, please test them out right away to make sure they work. If they don't, you get rid of them. And you can do it just like I'm doing right now. You open up your file manager using your terminal box and then get rid of the thing. You hit delete. When you click the Zorin icon, a lot of times it will go right back to defaults. Or if you click the appearance, it may go back to defaults. If it doesn't do that, what you want to do is log out of your system and log in, because when you log back in, it will not find that icon set or theme because you deleted it. Hence, it'll return to default. So you don't have to mess around with these multitude of Linux commands in your terminal box to try to return your system back to default. This is the quickest way. You open up your file manager through terminal, and you get rid of that icon set that broke this thing, and you get rid of the theme. It'll still be in your trash can, but more importantly, it won't load as soon as you either log out or click Zorin appearance. It should revert because it doesn't know how to load these icons after that because they're missing. They're in your trash can. Hopefully all that stuff made sense. You can't load an icon set that's not in the menus. That's why you threw it in the trash to begin with. Keep in mind, when you make an appearance change and you log out and log back in, it's going to try to reload that. Same thing goes with a reboot. It's going to try to reload that bad theme. You don't want that if it's broke. If it works for you, then you've got a theme that's working. And let's say you tested a whole bunch of these things. What are they? Are they icon sets or themes? Well, they could be both. Let's say you got 16 different icon sets that you were playing with. You can just highlight several of them and hit delete. That'll get rid of them instantaneously. Or if it's a theme, you installed, let's say 30 themes. I wouldn't suggest that many, but you're trying out things. And let's say everything worked except for the last couple ones. So of course, get rid of that one if it's this one or that one, whichever one that broke. But more importantly, when it comes to maintenance, let's say you didn't like this one, or that one, then highlight those and get rid of them. You can also click on one of these, hold down your control key, click and click to get rid of 3 in a row. Delete key. Troubleshooting is also part of trying out third-party themes. So again, this is a new feature with Zorin, and for the most part, you can use 98% of it. However, for the folks that like the X11 environment, I would not put your cursor themes into this folder here, into .local share icons. I would place them in your home directory, home folder under .icons. And that works in both Wayland and X11. And you can put the rest of the stuff in here. The .local share themes folder for themes. For the icon sets, put them in icons. If you put the cursors in this folder, which you can certainly do, it'll only work in Wayland. And the cursor will have a dual effect. At least that's my experience until they make some bug change. Basically, it will hold the mouse cursor. In my case, let's pick one. Let's say this one here. This would be in Wayland if they're installed in this folder here. This will not work in X11. But more importantly, when you hit the panel bar, it will change to this cursor here as soon as you hit the panel and the menu. And then as soon as you move it out, it would change it to, let's say, the red one. So it's kind of doing a dual thing, even after you logged in and out and did a restart. That was my experience on 2 different systems using 2 different graphics cards. One was an NVIDIA, the other one was AMD. And the CPUs were different. The motherboard and CPU. 39 minutes. Thank you for watching.